Although European governments have, for the most part, evacuated their citizens or started the evacuation of their citizens much earlier than Britain, the US has pretty well given up. There's 16,000 US civilians in Sudan, and there's no effort being made to evacuate them. And maybe this is the position that Britain thought that it could emulate. The idea that the Sudanese conflict has come out of nowhere is again also absurd. Sudan has been fermenting crisis for the last decade anyway. There's a long period of tension. We can go back to we can go back to 2018, 2019, a popular revolution, of which we're coming up to the 4-year anniversary, which is one reason why possibly there's a crisis now. This uprising overthrew the autocratic rule of Omar al-Bashir, and there was supposed to be a transition to a civilian government. This was led by the FFC, the Forces for Freedom and Change committee to oversee non-violent resistance and the overthrow of the autocratic government. The Prime Minister, who was appointed, Abdullah Hamdok, he was an economist. He tried to stabilize the government and to restore the economy. And he was initially overthrown by the second of two military coups in 2021. These were led by the Sudanese army and by the RSF. In turn, each one led by, the first one, the Sudanese army, led by Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, who is now the effective president, and the RSF leader, General Mohammed Delago, who is the nominal deputy. And what's happened now is there's a struggle between those two forces. And for a short while, in fact, after that coup, the civilian prime minister was reappointed, Abdullah Hamdok, and then he resigned in January 2022. So since January 22, for the last year, there has been a very clear military dictatorship and a huge number of killings. So the violence which has blown up is not exactly out of thin air. And the West could have done more to help, I suspect, and is going to face a wave of refugees, probably 100,000 at least, coming to the West for support. And this is another reason why, had we got a Home Secretary with an ounce of foresight, then we would have brokered an international conference to rethink the way migration, refugees, asylum is considered in the modern world. We haven't got such a Home Secretary. We don't seem to have such a far-sighted Foreign Secretary, and we certainly haven't done anything to broker an international conference. It's a great shame. This is the first of many waves of refugees that we're going to see coming into the West in the near future.